Hello travelers! I am Lorkeen, your traveler's guide to Tyria. Last time we saw each other we took a trip down the memory lanes of Ascalon. We witnessed the tumultuous history of the Charr, their unification under the legendary Khan, and their centuries-old wars with the humans, the Charr's recent return to these lands, the birth of the Vigil, and the ongoing effort for peace. It was quite a trip. Today we'll slow down and visit the industrious village of Smokestead, and have a look at the logistics of running such a militarized society.
Whiskers, I need a flash of inspiration.
After the defeat of the Flamed Shamans, the Iron Legion took over this area, building the Black Citadel as their capital. Although their alliance is shaky, the Ash and Blood Legions are also accepted here. In the shadow of the Globular Factory, the village of Smokestead acts as a base of operations for further expansion into the region, and the capital's last line of defense against the ghosts and the treacherous Flame Legion. But first things first, before venturing further into the military compounds, let's talk Hungry Cats. I mean the other Hungry Cats. Like all beginner maps, Plains of Ashford welcomes us with highly specialized Hungry Cats that you can feed, and by doing so convince them to move to your home. One of these cats trained extensively with the Iron Legion, and she will only accept a flask of pumpkin oil from an engineer. The other cat is an Ash Legion asset, she'll only be happy with harpy feathers, and only from the thief's paws. The flask of pumpkin oil drops only during the Mad King's visit on Halloween, but you can craft it or buy it from the trade market. And if you're out of harpy feathers, you can buy them in the Haradi hinterlands. Forager Hekiti sells them after you defend the Skrit thieves while they steal harpy eggs. As always, a reminder before you decide to adopt these beauties, black cats will fight each other relentlessly in your hero's canton, or homestead. But let's return to our other furry friends. The Charr are a race of carnivorous predators, with sharp teeth and knife-like claws, 4 horns, and 2 sets of ears. The top pair of ears is sensitive to higher ultrasound frequencies, while the lower ones will react to infrasound or lower tones. They are only hard of hearing when it comes to mid-ranges, like human voices. Unlike house cats, Charr are born with their eyes open, and within a few days, they can follow their mothers around. Meat is introduced in the cub's diet within a month, but they are fully weaned at around 1 year of age, when they are placed in the Fahrar of their parents' legion. In this crush, an instructor called Primus will turn the cub's brutality into discipline and loyalty to their high legion. It all might seem harsh, but this is one proven way to keep the Charr society from devouring itself. Quite literally. In the village of Smokestead, Primus Manisha Cubminder has the tough job of running the Fahrar. If parents get to enjoy the cubs while they are still purring little furballs, Manisha's role is to seize the very first childish instinct to fight and kill, and hone it into a usable skill. The Fahrar is a place where cubs form a warband, pledge allegiance, and bond with their weapon of choice.
Tomorrow I get my first real weapon!
The warband is the main unit in Charr society, similar to a family, except these ties are forged in battle. The members pick something they resonate with, and use that word to form their surname. The leader of a warband is a legionnaire, or any higher rank.
What's that, Solidus?
Their gear, Centurion, it's my task to clean them.
Is that so? Because it looked to me like it was your task to pet them all nice and sweet-like.
Understood. I'll do better, Centurion.
I'll have your tail if you don't.
Centurions run companies made of multiple warbands.
Centurion, I didn't hear you.
That's obvious. What are you gonna do when it's not a fellow warrior sneaking up on you, but a ghost as silent as the wind?
Die like a warrior, Centurion.
That's right. Senses up, or I'll knock you back to cub.
Above Centurions, a Tribune functions as the primary commander.
The Smokestead repairs are taking longer than expected, sir. It's like breaking open an old log. Once the damage is done, all sorts of nasty things start crawling out.
I think a little incentive is in order. Requisition a keg of old tank oil stout on my authority. Offer it to the warband that works the hardest, and give him my regards. Dismissed.
And above them all, Imperators, all claiming to be blood of the Khan or. Smaugr the Unflinching is the Imperator for Iron, Bongar Ruinbringer for Blood Legion, Malus Sword Shadow leads the Ash, and Gaiharan Balefire runs the Renegade Flame, North and Fireheart Rise. Down here in the Fahrar and Smokestead, some warbands have already formed, like the one made of these cubs. They were thinking of naming themselves Gorge/Cut/Slice-A-Stab, but Kurt wants to go with Furfriend. As you can imagine, Kurt was the last pick to be part of the group, and just because he was the only one left. While his friend would rather play kill or be killed, where the rules are, well, kill or be killed, Kurt would prefer a change of pace, like going out and observing some plant life. But it turns out that when outside, they do the same thing they do inside, hand-to-hand combat. He knows he is the joke of the Fahrar, often bullied during pounce drills and bludgeon practice, being called names like Egghead, Brainiac, or Asura. So he doesn't dare mention the study of anything that isn't potentially fatal. The risk of being kicked out of the Fahrar, and having to go back and live with his parents, is just too great.
I'm going crazy working in the Fahrar. I'm not designed to deal with cubs.
What have they done now?
It's the Crush Warband again. They've run off, probably ghost hunting.
They'll learn their lessons the hard way then. Cubs will be cubs. You can't watch over them every minute of the day and night.
I know. I'm more worried my Legionnaire will find out. One of those cubs is his.
Meet the already infamous Crush Warband, Vloyet Crushmaw, Reba Crushheart, and Lavor Crushspirit.
Last full moon, the little scruffs decided they were going to capture a drake and keep it as a pet.
What happened?
They showed back up with so much singed fur, we had to shave them to get rid of the smell.
Oh no. Gotta give him credit for courage and imagination.
Tell that to the Bash Legionnaire who accidentally stumbled into their pit trap. It took his warband days to clean the tar out of his fur.
Oh no. You're telling me those Crush Cubs are off scheming somewhere?
Yes, they've been gone since shortly after mess call.
That's odd. I think that for the first time in my life, I just felt afraid.
Now you know my pain. One time, these cubs decided they were going to smoke out some rats nesting under the Centurion's quarters.
I don't like where this is going.
It gets worse. They snuck into the armory and borrowed some black powder.
Little stinkers.
I've never seen the Centurion so mad.
It's true, the fierce Crush Warband sneaked outside the safety of Smokestead, on a dare, and they went all the way to the ruins of the Baradin estate. If you assist them, the cubs will try to face their fears, and stay out here longer than any other warband. They won't dare enter the vaults yet, like we will in our next episode, but you can still learn some interesting lore from these cubs.
You guys know how the Ascalonians became ghosts, right?
Sure.
How?
Vatlaw Doomtooth's army scared them to death.
It's after me! I'm too pretty to die! The Human King was a creepy guy who killed all his people to save them from us.
That's stupid. You made that up.
Did not.
Did so.
Ghosts!
Hey, Warband! Time's up! We did it!
Those ghosts must have been afraid of us.
Oh yeah, we're lean, mean fighting machines.
We're Charr and proud. Rawr!
So, Cub, has your time at the estate made you any stronger?
I'm filled with the strength of 1,000 Charr.
Well, why don't you show that dummy over there who's in charge then?
the impressive mightiness of my crash, bang, kapow!
For your part in this adventure, Loyot will sell you a crushed warband honorary patch, which makes you an honorary member of the mightiest warband in this Fahrar.
You remember when somebody put rotten Devourer eggs in the practice cannons?
That was the Crush Cubs too?
They couldn't figure out how to fire them off, so they just left them there.
Next morning, the first group shot rotten egg all over the field. Stank up the place for weeks.
And they were downwind, so it sprayed back on everyone there.
Other warbands are more conscientious when it comes to their training. The Heart warband loves spending their time down by the Devourers' pens.
I have a question. Do Devourers like human meat? What about Silvari? Asura?
Your normal Devourer will eat just about anything. That's why you need to train it properly, or it'll eat you.
What about Devourer poison?
Devourers will eat and poison just about anything. Doubly so if they're angry.
Their mentor, Drado Lashtail, is the greatest tamer ever known, raising the strongest and most feared Devourers in all of Tyria. Even the Imperator of the Iron Legion has Devourers tamed by Drado.
Is it true we'll be able to train any Devourer we see in the wild?
Burn my fur. No! We only train Devourers in controlled situations. Never, ever approach a Devourer in the wild.
But...
No! Just no.
The process of training a Devourer is simple, but not without dangers. Drado and his colleagues captured these Devourer females, and let them nest here. Then when the eggs hatch, the Charr raise the newborn Devourers into servitude. They are mostly trained to join the troops on the battlefield and respond to specific commands, such as kill. The Devourers raise the Charr's battle response to a whole new level. These animals can grow to such great sizes that in the past, they were used as siege mounts. But since the Charr perfected the art of mechanical tanks, the Devourers are mostly trained to become foe-eating enemy-chomping traitor-biting war machines.
Are the Devourer babies going to have a warband?
Devourlings aren't like us. They don't get warbands. No.
Why?
Because they're war beasts. War beasts don't have warbands.
Why?
Because that's just how it is!
In today's lesson, Drado will attempt to teach the Heart warband how to collect Devourer eggs.
Alright, Scruffs! Once I turn these decoys on, those female Devourers are gonna come running out! A Devourer could pop your head right off your neck before you could even scream! So no goofing around!
Dang, that's mighty!
Wow! You mean we might get to see someone get their head popped off?
Today we have volunteers who will gather Devourer eggs. We train young Devourers and mold them into war beasts. We lure the mama out with this decoy box while we get the eggs. Watch and learn, Scruffs.
For this purpose, Drado designed a Devourer calling thing. That thing is a thing used to coax the mothers away from their nests. It makes a noise that riles up the mothers and lets you take eggs, so they can train more Devourers.
Oh man, those Devourer mamas are easy to fool. They're dumb like Flame Legion.
Alright, that should do it.
But the Devourers won't let go of their eggs without a fight.
What's that? Fall back!
Kill the giant enraged Devourer, and Drado will teach you the recipe for Drado's poached eggs. This meal gives you power and experience, and helps bards get their legendary focus, the minstrel.
And that's why you don't put your hand in the Devourer's mouth. Okay, next question.
Me! I heard you could stop a charging Devourer by rearing up on your legs and screaming. Is that true?
Oh, you'll definitely get it to stop. It'll stop right on top of you and eat your screaming muzzle right off your face!
Cool.
Cool!
As you see, the cubs are most excited to be here, and Distrahar Teeter is already planning to own his own herd in the future, with Devourers tough enough to take down a dragon. The secret would be in the diet, he'll feed them only humans. It'll make them tougher than feeding them beef. Don't worry, he's not talking about you. You will probably be dead by then anyway.
Do we get to take a baby Devourer back to the Fahrar with us?
No, you certainly do not. The Fahrar workers would kill me in my sleep if I let you.
Aww. But I'll take care of it.
I said no.
Stand at attention and report!
Cannons in perfect working order, sir. Yesterday we scored 10 hits, most direct and several indirect.
Great, so you're 10 for 10 for hitting an open field. Very impressive.
That's right.
Let's hope you're as good against living targets.
As the cubs grow older, they get more weapons on their hands. Welcome to the firing range.
Pay attention to me. Keep your eye on the target.
Centurion, show me your technique.
The range is for those who need practice. Keep trying, Legionnaire.
The Black Warband is in charge of running the Tela Range. Instructor Blackflint brags about the cannons. These are the finest you'll ever see, and you can go and try them yourself if you'd like. This also helps with testing the weapons before being sent off to battle. Occasionally, these cannons are being used against enemy upstarts that attack the Charr all the way here.
Seen any scrit?
Not yet, boss.
Look harder. We didn't build these weapons so vermin can take them apart piece by piece.
The Skrit of the area found shelter in this destroyed tower, our Mock's niche, and they built themselves a small scratch. And you can deal with them, for the Legion. And for Cepha Blackblood, who tries her best to guard the cannonballs, but as you already know the Skrit can steal even the crumbs from your beard, if you're not paying attention. Another member of the Black Warband is Simon Blackgut. Yes, he has a human-sounding name. No, he doesn't want to talk about it. His job here is to keep the cannons nice and oiled, by gathering scale sacks and squeezing the oil out of them. He ended up with this job after spilling oil all over the cannon master. He says he didn't do it.
Stand firm, cub! Stop flinching!
Sorry, boss.
Pitiful. You blink every time you fire. What will you do in real combat?
If you have completed your cannon training, you can test your mettle with Centurion Titus Gearclaw here, for a hero point. Your heroic deeds here might impress Splotter Thunderflash, she hates the Skrit. But it's Thegrin Topjaw's attention you want, as he is the only dealer of black powder in Tyria, and you might need some for the legendary pistol Quip, or the legendary rifle the Predator.
And what did we learn from your comrade's unfortunate accident? Never walk in front of a cannon.
You there, what do you think you're doing?
I was just...
You were heading back to work.
I was heading back to work, Centurion.
Take the long way, soldier. And I'd better not see you walking.
If you have left Tela Range behind, but you can still smell the oil and black powder, then you might be near the Greysteel Armory. This is one of the mightiest forges the Iron Legion has ever constructed, and the biggest weapon supplier outside the Black Citadel. This place is under Blight Warband's protection. The armory is Armorer Blytax's pride and joy, and he likes to run it like a well-oiled machine. Parts go in and weapons come out. Like those turrets, and they pack quite a wallop. Some of the weapons are experimental and they haven't been test-fired yet, like that mortar, so try it at your own risk. Tiberia Iron Sights likes to aim at that wall, to knock down anything those stupid Ascalonians built. But some shells go boom. And some shells go fizz, so everybody would appreciate it if you clean up the duds, as the troops are stretched thin with so many fronts, and upkeep isn't a big priority. It makes the place a bit safer too. The armory holds such a strategic importance, that Flame Legion get bold and come all the way up here, thinking they can screw things up.
Secure the armory at all costs! Drive them back!
Get ready, soldiers. They always come in waves. No matter what, Don't drop your guard.
I long for the day when I can fight an enemy that doesn't cheat.
Wheels keep turning, we keep fighting.
We've knocked the wind out of them. Now to extinguish their fire.
Protect or retake the armory to impress Crucibus Forge Weld, the heart of this armory.
Thanks for securing the armory. That should keep the Flame Legion off our back for now.
Soldier, name the parts of a cannon.
Centurion, eye, knob, neck, vent, cascable, Wiblin coil, breech, chamber, trunnions, rim base, bore, and muzzle.
And the parts of the muzzle?
Swell and face, Centurion.
As you were.
The Flame Legion sneak in and set up camps close by, and from there they attack the whole industry complex here, including the wrecking yard.
Have you inventoried that new load yet?
Almost.
What do you mean, almost?
What's the hurry? It's just a bunch of junk. It ain't going nowhere.
Just a bunch of junk. Get out of my sight.
What'd I say?
Run by the Rust Warband, the wrecking yard is where Iron Legion stores old weapon parts, and other items that have fallen out of use. But with battling the ghosts and the Flame Legion, it seems like there's no time left for simple upkeep and maintenance. The wrecking yard has fallen into a sad state lately, yet it is vital to supplying the Iron Legion with enough metal to feed into the smelter. Without those raw materials, they couldn't continue to produce the war machinery they need for victory. That's why Scylla Rustcloud calls this the treasure yard, and Scar Strikeclaw would like your help to make this place look less wrecked.
We've been working this heap since we left the Fahrar.
You complaining too?
Nope. I don't got no dreams of greatness. I'm just here to do my job.
That's right.
The Rust Warband fixes what they can, and melt down the rest. It may look like a lot of junk, but it's valuable. If it weren't, the Flame Legion wouldn't be so eager to get hold of it. While Rodex Rustpaw loves the smell of rusting iron in the morning, Furka Rustbite would prefer to fight the Flame Legion directly.
Rather be out playing hero, would ya? But let me tell ya, the real heroes are here, working this heap! Where do you think our armies would be if nobody did the grunt work? Dead stalled, that's where!
Alright. I'll finish the inventory. You made your point.
Furka doesn't have to wait long to get her wish. The Flame Legion are repeatedly attacking the place, trying to get their paws on the weapon parts.
Thieves spotted! Got them like pigs!
Let's show these guys some good old junkyard hospitality!
Get your paws off my garbage, you stinking scavengers! And stay out! This junk is too good for you!
Ash Legion soldier Creatia Stillstrike has even seen those Flame Legion curs use their magic to do things you can't imagine, like appearing in the middle of a fortified Iron Legion camp, without even a whisper of warning. The truth is, the Flame Legion is probably using the cave system around Lake Feritas to move around. And here's a fun etymological fact: Feritas means ferocity, brutality, from Latin ferus, savage. Not to be confused with the Latin ferrum, which means iron. Anyway, the caves are full of flame intruders and their equipment. Scylla Rustcloud clears some of the flame, closer to the wrecking yard. But there's more of them across the lake, where Ladder Painstorm would need some armed support against the flame soldiers. From Ladder Painstorm's point of view, solving these issues would make the area flame-proof. Or at least flame-resistant. This is something Legionnaire Sparklash is also interested in. He is the leader of the Clash Warband, and they were assigned here to keep an eye on the lake, and make sure the Flame Legion and its shaman don't tamper with the water. Strum Bass Glash is the heart of the group, while Lorica Ripclash is in charge of the sarcasm. Together they try to clean up the area of this garbage, and the Rock Drake Broodmothers, and Violent Plated Behemoths. It helps keep the place nice for the fisherfolk, and the water reservoir clean.
Rise, my minions, and foul the waters of this lake. Show them the power of balefire.
Legionnaire! Did you see those flame legion down there corrupting Lake Feritas? There's tar everywhere.
We've also got elementals emerging from the tar.
Terrific. More zealots spoiling the lake. Bane, go find us some assistance. You two, follow me.
The Clash Warband will take matters in their own paws and clear the lake.
That's done. Still, I'd boil that water before drinking it.
Stow the jokes, soldier. The Flame Legion needs someone to throw a wrench in their schemes once and for all. We're that wrench.
Wish we had a Devourer with us. I'd love to see the look on the Flame Legion's faces when we unleash it on them.
You and your Devourers. Stop thinking about pets and watch my back, will ya?
There! Destroy those braziers and put out the fires with their blood. For the Iron Legion! Smell that smoke. Look at those bodies. Take it in, soldiers. I'm proud of you all.
All these heroics will surely draw the Flame Shaman's anger.
Fire and smoke. Melt and render. I see infidel warriors, weak and tender. I'll scorch your fur. I'll cook your bones. I'll burn your souls in a cauldron of stone. There is no mercy for you here. There is only the judgment of fire. Now burn. I'll burn you all. I'll roast your bones as a tribute to balefire.
We shut him up but good. That goes to show you can't melt iron with a weak flame.
Well said. Let's get back to camp. I've got a bottle of whiskey for victories like this. Tonight, we drink to the Iron Legion.
And you can drink with them, as Legionnaire Sparklash is happy to sell you flasks of firewater. Once you do your part in the area, Strum will sell you some drake steak or a gargoyle fossil, a mighty accessory for the treasure hunter collection. The gargoyles were creatures who dwelled in the Ascalonian catacombs, which in the past could also be entered from the caves next to the lake. This fossil is a rare object today, as the gargoyles mysteriously went extinct 140 years ago. Before Clash, the lake was under the care of the Hook Warband, assigned here by the previous tribune. They worked this lake since they left the Fahrar. The Hook Band spent years making sure no one overfishes and that the waters remain clean and healthy. Most of the Warband died, one by one, and now Epos Hookville is the only one left. He is a gladium now, the bottommost rank and a sort of orphan of the legions. While most Charr would be terrified of this, Epos doesn't mind. He knows he lived well and worked hard for the legions. He's sacrificed much, and thinks he'll go out fighting, not long from now. A bit up the lake, we can find a treasure hunter, Kalari the Intrepid. She amassed a fortune over the years, and now Kalari is interested in looting the cave behind the waterfall. But a rampaging scale lives there, and it has already killed many brave workers who stumbled into the cave. Clear the way for her and she will open shop for you with some treasure armor.
Is it done yet, boss?
No! Stop asking, or you're next on the spit!
As you can imagine, a war machine like the Legions needs a lot of fuel. So where do they get their protein from? Forever Ready, the Iron Legion provides every service in-house. Tulona Iron Wrestlers Ranch is where the magic, or rather the meat, happens. Smokestead gets all its fresh beef from here, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a more efficient cattle ranch in all of Charr territory. Tulona's got secrets to keeping her cattle secure, but she's well trained and she's not spilling. Tulona Iron Wrestler is probably the warband sister of Tyria Ironsights, the mortar trainer with anger issues against walls.
I'm gonna be old and my teeth are gonna fall out before this boar is done.
More for me!
Rancher Stratum Crushmaw might be an older member of the infamous Crush Warband, but unlike the ghost-fighting rascals, he's here to work. He is handling the day-to-day operations on the ranch, learning as much as he can from his boss, so that one day he will fulfill his dream of running his own ranch. Hopefully by then, he will have found a way to deal with his nemesis, the worms, which he hates more than claw rot. No matter what he does, the worms keep reappearing and spooking the cows, which in turn break down the gate. I guess this steel does yield. Anyway, Stratum would appreciate all the help you can give him, with herding the cattle back into the pen before his boss will rip his claws out.
I don't know. I say it needs more sauce.
Take it off the fire, it's done. I'm starving. It ain't done, shut up! I'll tell you when it's done.
The best sauce in the village is a hot one made by genus Portersmoke, and it is famous all the way to Ebonhawk. The recipe is called 3-2-1, 3 parts meat, 2 parts meat, and 1 part meat. He is perfecting this sauce for Meatoberfest. As a fun fact, the meat for that festival is provided by the Boverin estate, in Diessa Plateau. We already met one of their ranchers, Maxter Rapidstep, right before leaving Wayfarer Foothills. The saucy affair in Smokestead references Seattle's Dixie's Barbecue, where owner Gene Porter transitioned from auto mechanic to barbecue legend. His fame grew with the invitation for customers to meet his fiery hot sauce, the man. Here, in Tyria, the aroma of Portersmoke sauce is so meaty that thieves are always eyeing the pitmaster's barbecue. So much so that you can hardly find the pot in game these days. Our last stop for today is in the Three Legions Court, the marketplace of the village. Since the Charr opened their society to other races, even humans venture here, to sell their goods. At least Jasper Reichs does, even though her friends are too scared to set foot in this place. But Jasper hopped and skipped through the Asuric gate from Lion's Arch, reported in at the Big Ball place, and got her paperwork in order. She's selling weapons, and for the love of gold, she is willing to put up with the Charr's attitude. But I didn't bring you here to haggle. We are here to drink. The Tavern on the Grey is the place where Charr gather to booze, boast, and black out. The bartender awaits us with a wide selection of drinks. Simple ale, dark brown ale, amber ale, all for the Brewmaster collection. And like bartenders all over the universes, this one is a keen observer of his patrons, and he'll find something nice to say about everyone. Ash Legion are quiet, you forget they're there. Iron Legion fix everything, and Blood Legion are the first in line, when the bar opens. But you know how it is with people who have to stay in line all day long. They need a place to let their fur down, and sometimes things get heated.
Why do Ash Legion soldiers always skulk around while Blood takes point?
Ash is afraid of a fair fight. No, you're just expendable. At least we kill our enemies face to face, not from the shadows.
Fine talk from cowards who hide behind war machines.
You'd both better hide before I rip out your eyeballs.
You are so dead.
Kill me now if you can, or die in your sleep tonight.
You crossed the line!
You can try to prevent a brawl, or just enjoy it.
I'll break your bones until you're a sagging sack of fur!
You'll have to hit me hard to get my attention.
If you prefer some peace and quiet, the upper lounge offers a more relaxed atmosphere. Even cubs are allowed here. Manika came to spy on that plant person. She has never seen a Sylvari before, and a question gnaws at her: what do Sylvari taste like? Grassy pork perhaps? The plant in question, Bry, came here to admire the Iron Legion's sense of architecture. This place made of iron defies her concept of reality, and she finds it staggering and uncomfortable, but she is full of awe and respect for such strong people, that can call such a bold place home.
Quester?
Report, Centurion.
I spread the discipline thick today, Quester.
Spread it thicker tomorrow! There's trouble brewing, and I want our warbands ready.
After all this training and discipline, our warband is ready for some field work. In the next episode we march beyond the safety of Smokestead's fortifications, and test our strength against the lurking ghosts in the Plains of Ashford. It's quite possible we'll meet some old friends. If you're ready to join the fight, give us a like and subscribe to enlist in our next mission, and ring that bell to rally with us. But until then, happy exploring!